Welcome back. The next tip I want to share with you in this whole area of being an authentic speaker, having your own stories, finding your own messages, having the right mindset as a speaker. And everything I'm talking about here is not only how we have the right attitude coming on stage, but this is also how to source a lot of your own material. Where do you find your stories? And this is a series that I'm doing right now on these speaking tips on your authenticity, which is you're coming to the stage with your stories. So this one is knowing your defining moments of your life. Now, life does not happen in years. It doesn't happen in months. It doesn't happen in weeks. It doesn't even happen in days. Life happens in little tiny moments, one right after the other. And there are certain moments that we have that affect us tremendously, and we carry those moments with us for our entire life. And I call those defining moments. Now, some of the things I've talked about is like, yeah, if you were a homeless heroin addict or you had been wrongly incarcerated for murder for 20 years in prison, those would be pretty defining moments. If you were in a bad automobile accident and you broke all the bones in your body, those would be that would be a defining moment for you without a question. But most of us don't have these big traumatic, horrible things happen to us, but yet we still have defining moments. And some of the biggest defining moments can be relatively small things. It could be something that our teacher says to us when we're in second grade. It can be something our 2-year-old says to us in the bathtub one night. To give you an example of this, I want to share a couple defining moments that I have. And in my process of defining myself and looking at where my messages come from, I literally have thousands of defining moments. I pick up defining moments every day because I'm aware that defining moments are critical to my messages and they give me value. They give me insight into life. When I was 14 years old, I was working in my family's business, and on the weekend, I'd unload trucks. And I'd unload these big 40-foot semi-trailers, and they'd be backed up to a warehouse, and we'd unload from the tailgate. It was the way the dock was. The truck would be pulled up alongside of the warehouse, and then about halfway through, we'd want the truck to be backed up 20 feet so we could unload out of the side doors. So we didn't have to walk to the back of the truck every time with the boxes. So I'd have to go find a driver to back the 18-wheeler tractor trailer up. So I find this driver, worked for our business, worked for my family's company called Ron. And I went over and I said, Ron, could you back the truck up for me? And he goes, do it yourself. I go, I don't know how to drive that truck. And he walks over the truck and he opens the cab door to it and he looks at me and he goes, well, you ain't gonna learn any younger. And I couldn't argue with that. I was not gonna learn any younger how to do that. And he put me up in the truck and showed me how to fire it up and release the air brakes and where the gears were, and I could back the truck up 20 feet and I didn't have to go bug him anymore. But the whole concept that I ain't gonna learn any younger, there's been so many things I've tied into to go do in life, and I went, oh, I don't know if I can do this or not. And I would think, well, I'm not gonna learn any younger. Might as well just do it right now because I'm only gonna get older if I'm gonna learn this. And that is something that gave me definition of my life. Another one is I love to snow ski, and I can ski quite well, but there was a point where I was falling all the time in my evolution as a skier. And one of the problems was I kept leaning back on the skis because as you go down a hill, there's this tendency to want to lean back to not go as fast, and it makes you go faster. And I kept falling backwards. And I had an instructor tell me, if you're going to fall over your tips. Fall forward over the tips of your skis and you'll never fall. And so I took that and I made that sort of a mantra for me. As I skied, as I started to get out of control, I would push myself forward. I was going to fall over my tips, but what happened is when I pushed myself forward, I actually gained control of the skis. And it was a huge change in how I skied. But I also use that in life. And this is what I'm going to say. If I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail forward. I'm going to fail trying too hard. I'm going to fail falling off, as I used to say in my speaking, I'm going to fail falling off the front of the stage because I'm putting too much into my speech. I'm not going to fail falling off the back of the stage, playing it safe. I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail because I'm pushing too hard. And that was a defining moment in my life. And the last one was when I was working with Nestle, and we were doing it's my early 20s, mid 20s. I was on a brand and we were getting new package design. We had this really sort of ugly package for this product that I was on the brand management team on. And the advertising agency came in and laid out all these gorgeous new packages. And we're sitting in the room and I'm thinking, gosh, that one would be fantastic. This is so much better than what we have. And the division manager over our division was in the room. And he was the first one that spoke. And he said, I don't want to lose the existing equity we have in our package. And I never heard that concept before. We had equity with our customers in that existing package. They are used to walking in the supermarket and seeing it and recognizing it. And it was selling, I don't know, $30 or $40 million a year product every year. The last thing I wanted to do is lose the equity we had. But it gave me the concept that we all have equity and when we're in places, and you don't want to lose the existing equity you have because you're making a change. So what we did in that case is we came up with a 2-year plan to slowly change that package to a much more appealing package with small changes over 2 years, so the customer wouldn't notice a drastic change. And if you've ever been in a supermarket, when they change the box that you're used to getting, you think that your product's gone. You don't recognize it. And it's the same product, different package. But that can happen in life, where you decide to move to a new job, move to a new town, uproot, and you lose all the equity that you had where you were, and you have to start fresh again, and nobody knows you, they don't recognize you. You may have the same talents, or maybe you get a promotion to a new department, and you go into that new department, and you had a lot of equity in your last department. So the whole concept of maintaining the equity that we build through life was a defining moment of mine. So my challenge to you as a speaker is start taking notes. And I mean, I have pages that I write down defining moments. And as I said, I go through every day, I go, that's a great lesson. That defines what's going on in life. I see something occur and I automatically take note of it. I don't just walk through life not observing life. I'm observing every minute. And is there something that's relating to something that's a great story that I can share? And a lot of times I have Word documents where I just jot these things down and I'll go scroll through them if I need to, if I'm writing a speech. And I have dozens of things I can look at to bring stories up. And I forget about them, quite honestly, but when I read the notes I put on it, I go, oh yeah, I remember that time. You know, that the little old lady got up and washed the dishes in the restaurant, or some crazy thing you saw happen. And it's a great example to help make your point, or there's a great message in what occurred. So take a look at your life, start noting down the defining moments that you've had in the past, and then keep track of them from this point forward. And you're going to wind up with this huge inventory of speech subjects that are your authentic speech topics, your authentic speech subjects that you can speak about on an ongoing basis. Okay, until next time.